Hello again, everyone. Todd Michael Putnam from D&D Creative Table Designs, bringing you another adventure table idea. And this is the Assault on Underkeep. The Assault on Underkeep. So this one here is basically just a good old-fashioned dungeon crawl. This is just all about going through the dungeon and beating up the monsters and stealing the loot. And thematically, it is heavily inspired by Black Rock Mountain in the Worlds of Warcraft MMO. Black Rock Mountain is basically this place that way back in vanilla WoW, back in 2004 or whatever it was. Black Rock Mountain was the epitome, the end-all, be-all, dungeon raid area. I suppose Molten Core was, but in Black Rock Mountain, where people would go. And thematically, it was all about these dungeons, and there was also these big lava caverns that was going on, in between it, and it was very exciting visually to go through it. And I just wanted to try and capture that feel to some extent. The story is completely different. Black Rock Mountain is filled with orcs and stuff, and they've got a whole thing going on, and that's not what this is. But I just took thematically from the actual dungeons, the worked dungeon stone, and then the lava caverns and stuff flowing around in between as this backdrop, and as a feeling of danger and heat and stuff going on. So and basically the start of it's just here where you descend down some stairs, going through some caverns, and eventually you get into the more natural caverns in this area. In this case, I'll have like giant rock elementals or earth elementals that can come up from certain areas, and there's some twisting and turning, and then there's also like some oozes and stuff that are going on, and they could be like, lava oozes or flame oozes or stuff like that you can have in there. And if you follow along, it eventually comes, you see this area here, and there's an area where these flame guardians, they're Azar, I believe, in Dungeons and Dragons, and of course there's a big guardian against this front door into Underkeep itself. So you have to get past those guys. And then once you get into Underkeep, it's actually manned by humans or demi-humans, as it may be. Could be some elves, so on and so forth, half-elves, whatever. But basically manned by, for the most part, humans who are part of this cult of the Burning Death. So that's why they built Underkeep down here in amongst these magma caverns, and basically their whole aim is to purify the world in fire, and only those of the purest souls and purest in faith, of course, which of course will always be them, are destined to rule. And so there's it's basically a place of extreme zealotry that the heroes will be going into and fighting these cultists of the Burning Death. And the king himself, the king of Underkeep. And so there's different things here, and I throw some stuff in here, like there's a council area where people can meet and stuff and talk, and of course there's weapons and stuff along the wall. Up here there's an area where some of the clerics have their own, doing their research or whatever, and then of course there's a chapel that's down here where they can have ceremonies and stuff. And do their baptisms by fire, as it were. Of course, there's sleeping chambers that are a bit bare that are going on. There's chambers for like a head cleric that's in here, who's obviously going to be much more powerful than some of the other ones. And like a way to differentiate that is just like the size of the desk. See, the size of the desk here is significantly larger than the one that's up here for the more common, the still senior clerics or whatever it is. But this guy here is clearly the one that's in charge of everything, because he's got his own nice bed and his own room and his own desk and so on and so forth. Then over here, when we switch over, it turns into common dining areas that come in. So that's what these are, just two areas for dining. Coming in through here, then of course there's a treasure chamber with a locked door and stuff that you could see into, but you couldn't get into without getting the key, which of course would be on the king himself. Then of course there's some storage chambers that are going on, and naturally there's always going to be some kind of a prison area with a small kind of crappy cot that's in there right next to the flaming magma that they would keep prisoners in here for people they're trying to convert or torture to get information out of, or just for sacrifices, whatever nefarious needs they might have. Following along here further, there's also some stairs going up again, and this is yet another basically an area for sacrifice and another chapel, as it were, to perform their rituals and stuff on. And in this case, right here, there's like a fountain or like a vat of magma, and you can see that they throw stuff into it, and it obviously is going to be sacrificed, and that's where where the river of magma starts coming from. So they call it the river of burning blood, because they'll throw their sacrifices in there, and the humans or whoever that they kill, their blood mixes in with the magma, and so they call it the river of burning blood, and that's where they make their sacrifice and stuff at. And then if you want to come around, of course they got a pipe organ and stuff up, and then there's stairs coming up yet again, and then we go into the actual king's chambers, where of course he's got some nice food, and he's got this really cool owlbear rug, and the king and the queen are here, and they've got, could be a magic mirror of some kind, and there's obviously some kind of a book there that's probably a holy book for them. The king and queen are there. Naturally, there's some ale. The executioner is right there waiting, standing by at any time in case the king decides that there's any prisoners or people who need to be disciplined. He can call him immediately and inflict his justice, quote unquote justice, on them. Then, of course, there's a gateway here that goes on to another bridge, which comes over here, and it goes into another section. I'm going to swing the camera around here. And here we have different, like, elite guards, as it were, and there's like a flame myrmidon, this guy right here that's going on. But this is basically a chamber for where the elite guards are at, to have to fight them. There's also back door, corner door coming out, going down, leading into the caverns themselves. Again, if you look closely, that is actually a earth elemental, giant rock elemental that's in there that can spring up from the rocks. And then there's another cavern that's leading along the backside over here. And then you end up with some more oozes in this section. And then with giant stalactites and stalagmites, you can go around in this direction, and there's some more oozes over here. And then, of course, if you look, if you were to, as you're going over the bridge, if someone were to somehow fall in, or if they can cast fly spells or whatever, there's magma elementals that are roaming about on the river of burning blood to do their, as they guard the wilder outside elements of Underkeep. There's another guy right here. And then, of course, there's this section here, which is a summoning circle, which is attached. You come over from this bridge. If we come back, remember, this is the area I was talking about with the lead cleric. And if he were to come out that door, up these stairs, and then down those stairs, through that door, and through that door, then you'd come to this bridge, which crosses the river of burning blood into the area where they do their summoning. And of course, you can see that there's 3 clerics and wizards that are here performing some kind of a ritual in order to summon some deep, dark, horrible terror. So that's basically the assault on Underkeep, what it's all about. As far as what it's built from, most of this is Dwarven Forge. The overwhelming majority of it's Dwarven Forge. The magma are on lighted tiles, LED tiles right there that come from, there's a power cable, plugs in there and goes right down through and into the power strip, and that lights up all of the panels. And then you just put the magma tiles from Dwarven Forge's Hellscape Kickstarter. It's not in the Kickstarter mode anymore. You can get on their website. Dwarven Forge Hellscape has all of those guys there. These tiles here, well, these big guys are from EC3D Designs from their Skyless Realms. Again, that was a Skyless Realms Kickstarter, but now it's available retail. And then these caverns here are just regular Dwarven Forge caverns. I have some Dwarven Forge terrain trays put on there to level things up. But and then this is this, I believe this bridge is also from Dungeons of Doom. I think I got that right. Which and then a lot of this stuff in here is either their classic tiles mixed in, their classic dungeon tiles, or their temple tiles from Dungeons of Doom. See, you can see some of these have like the little red posts on it, and this one here doesn't have the red post on it. This is a classic dungeon tile. This is their temple dungeon tiles. So, and I would interpose them. So like in some of their more important areas, I would put the temple tiles and see how that looks versus some of the less important areas where I would just have the regular dungeon tile. So it provides, thematically, you can just look at it and go, oh, this is a more common area, and this is an area that has a little bit more importance to it because it's got the columns, got the reddish columns going on there. So it's just something to visual acuity there that tells the players that something else is going on. When it comes to these things right here, these are also Dwarven Forge. These are just little LED guys. There's a micro switch in the back of these. Turn them on and off to turn the flames on and off, as it were. Again, you can see here we're for the King's Chamber, where I alternated between the temple tiles and the standard tiles in order to get a little bit more of a regal effect going on there. And then underneath this, because you've got several layers, you can see here I've got it 3 levels up. Each one of these is 2 inches high. These are my Todd tiles that you can go to thangs.com, thangs.com, and download and 3D print the SD files for free. Well, it'll cost you obviously your filament and whatever it costs you for your printer, but the files themselves I don't charge for. And I actually contracted with one of the people from EC3D Designs in order to design them, and it has this kind of a rough texture going on to it. You can paint it however you want it. You could paint it gray. I had mine painted up brown so it could be used for any kind of earthen type thing, but you could paint yours up with like a dungeon gray color, and it just would stack on and add to the walls. And I just stacked them one on top of each other, and then I used 24-inch by 24-inch clear plexiglass right there in order to set the stuff on. And so you can see you get 2, 4, 6 inches high, creates a 3rd level of the floor, and then down over here is the 2nd level of the floor, and then underneath is the first, so I guess 4 floors actually, yeah, because you got the bottom floor there, and then 1 level up here, and then a 2nd level up here, let's see, 2nd, 3rd, and then 4th. Yeah, I guess it's 4 levels deep. I got some cold medicine in me, so I can't think straight. So anyways, that's it. That is the assault on Underkeep, thematically inspired by Black Rock Mountain. I hope you guys enjoy it. Please like and subscribe if you enjoy these videos. It helps the channel out a lot, lets me know whether or not you guys want to keep seeing videos like this. And I will see you guys next adventure. Take care. Bye.